Perfect.
Stars of the night, Eric Go.
Oh, Chris Beam for the Whataburger. Got to show him some love. But the true freshman, Owen Allen, running back for Southlake, 213 yards. Not one, not two, not three, but 4 scores for the freshman. Got to show him some love in the big homecoming victory tonight for the Dragons.
You're watching the Eyes on Texas channel, where I'm your source of Breaking Horns news and video highlights. I'm your boy AK, where I put out fresh content about college football almost every single day of the week. If you like this content, you like the channel, go ahead, subscribe, and share it amongst your friends. I would very much appreciate that. Well, today I'm starting a new series where we're talking about future All-Stars, future Phenoms, and we're dropping in first with Owen Allen from Southlake Carroll, Texas. He's going to be a rising superstar in the class of 2023. He plays running back for the powerhouse in the state of Texas. Heck, the state of Texas national powerhouse, Carroll Dragons. Couple of accolades that we have going into this video. Recognitions is he was District 6-5A Newcomer of the Year offensively, and that is a major deal because in my personal opinion, we play the greatest football in all of the United States here in the great state of Texas. So being amongst the best in the best division only as a freshman is a gigantic deal in my personal opinion. Another big deal, another big giant award he made his freshman year bursting onto the scene. Owen Allen was first team All-American by 247 Sports. That's right, he was nationally acclaimed as freshman All-America, first team running back. Owen Allen from Southlake, Texas. Let's get into a little bit of his accolades, a little bit of his game, right? I was a bit distracted. Didn't know quite what I was looking at when I was looking at Owen Allen's film. Usually when we're talking about the running back position, they usually put the strongest, fastest, best athlete, period, playing running back, because that's usually what they do. Most teams, they don't necessarily have a great star athlete in every single position, or not nearly all that very well coached in order to coach them up to make them look a little bit better. So what most programs have to do, what most schools have to do, is they just hand the ball off to their best player, and that's how they get their most offensive production. With that being said, Owen Allen plays in Texas, and he plays at the highest level in Texas, and he plays for a varsity program that is known to produce great talent and is very well coached and wins high school state championships, right? So he was doing his job against everyone else. And he wasn't blazing on this film. He wasn't eye-popping with athletic ability. So I was wondering how exactly he got his yards, how exactly he did get his 210 rushing attempts, which he got 1,262 yards for 23 touchdowns, which is going to be like, what is that, 6.5, 7 yards a pop. Pretty good for a freshman, right? But I didn't know exactly what I was seeing. I did know that he did have a good forward lean while going into the hole. He drives forward through tacklers. He did have great vision. His head, I did notice, did always stay forward towards that goal line. But I did need a little bit of help, so I went to Ben Reza from Texas Sporting and Recruiting News. I got a little bit of help from his evaluation on this, and where Ben says, for sure he's benefiting from a great O-line over there at Southlake. Another thing I said as well. I mean, Southlake is basically like Lake Travis. Those dudes are coached really well. He's a one-cut guy and goes. He hits the hole with full speed and doesn't stop momentum. Sheds arm tacklers, sheds on, heads on guys. Sheds arm tacklers, sheds head-on guys that aren't wrap-up guys. In some cases, he drops 3 and 4 tacklers. So no matter if you're trying to wrap up or not, he can still break away from you. Watch his head. It's always pointed towards the end zone at all times. It's part of what keeps his momentum going north and south. So it really makes him a really good runner is that north and south, one cut and go kind of sort of go. Talking about his speed, wasn't eye-popping to me. Owen Allen does run the 100 and 200 in track, but he thinks that he's kind of like a 4.6 guy. Ben kind of talking about his speed. Ben Ariza, he says, I think he might be a 4.6 guy, but he accelerates fast. He runs into so many people, it's tough to gauge his top-end speed. I think a 4.4 guy will catch him from behind. So being a freshman, he's going to have 4 years of playing at at Southlake. And being at Southlake and knowing the kind of sort of scheme they run, that complex, running mainly 3 and 4 wide receivers and dumping it off to those wide receivers whenever you get at it in trouble instead of the running back, there's going to be many intangible factors with Owen Allen. And one that's burst right onto the field, which burst right onto the scene, is just going to be intelligence. You know, he's a starting running back as a freshman at Carroll. They run a complex scheme. Most freshmen in his case are growing into themselves. They're focused to getting to know where their classes are. They're not known for being the guy who has to be there every night on Friday night. That's a big time, is intelligence. He's got his stuff together for a young man as a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. So I see that production going up each and every year. My personal opinion, since he does play for Carroll, and they do have Quinn Ears as the starting running back, I see him recognized as an all-purpose back by his senior year. He only had a handful of catches his freshman year for 0 touchdowns, but I see that number increasing in each and every year. Like I said earlier, they do have Ears. They're the #1 overall prospect in the 22 class, so you know they are going to be throwing the rock a little bit, pitching around the field a little bit. So blitz pickup and pass protection is also going to be an intangible that's going to be at a high elite level for this player as he progresses through his sophomore to junior to senior season. Like I was saying, they throw the ball, which means those defenders are going to come at your quarterback. That running back is either going to be going out into a flare to catch a pass, be an all-purpose back, or you need to pick up that blitzer. You need to pick up who's ever trying to sack your quarterback. Because if you want to stay in the field and you want to be a prime-time player in a Division I major Power 5 conference, and heck, and then go on to the NFL, which is everyone's goal here, that is these big-time major recruits, you have to pick up that blitzer. The other intangible is easy. It's very easy to see. He's only a freshman. He will only get better as he ages and gets bigger, develops into that body, gets stronger, gets into that weight room, increases that bench, gets into those more complex squat and more Olympic-type movements. Will only get bigger, stronger, and faster. And overall, his awareness of the game will always get better with that in time. So I'm a Texas fan, as you can clearly see. Eyes on Texas is the name of the program. So what should Texas do? I think immediately, if not they haven't already, they need to open up some sort of line of communication with this young man. Whatever line of communication that you're allowed to have with a 2023 prospect. Don't know exactly all the rules about that. You need to be first on the scene. Personally, right now, I am showing 0 offers for Owen Allen. I looked at it on his timeline sheet on a 247 Sports, and it is show that no offers are there. But be #1. Be that first to offer. That is my suggestion. Every guy remembers his first girlfriend, your first kiss, that first car ride. I still love my 1990 Honda Accord beater. It was great. It was a 5-speed, low on the floor, 4-banger, but I loved it, right? It was my first car. It was my first love, and you will love your first offer. So be that, Texas. Open up that line of communication, and please, that'd be very, very impactful for this young man. I'm going to end this video with a couple of clips and with his highlights. I know that everyone is chomping at the bit to see young Owen Allen. You've been seeing it there on the right or left-hand side. I don't know what side I put it on as I've been talking. With that being said, Texas, get your eyes on him. Get your eyes on him, get that communication going, and offer this young man from Southlake, Texas. Keep your head in a swivel, your eyes on Texas, hook him up.
Rage on that beat, going crazy. Rage on that beat, going crazy. Rage on that beat, going crazy.
It's not a game, it's a rage thing.